Maboyka, Ituno, Kina Atiaono, and also Warhab, Warhab Musad. Bienvenido, mi familia. Bienvenido, todo el mundo. Welcome again. You know, I'm just here laying back, you know, getting ready to head out. Just gonna probably take it easy today, maybe walk a little bit, show I'm in Orlando, show some of the areas in Orlando. Um, I don't know. I don't know. It's, you know, it's just, you know, I'm just gonna flow with the day today, flow with Tuesday. You know what I'm saying? I know tomorrow I gotta take care of some business and I got a rehearsal tomorrow. Um, However, I wanted to come on because again, you know, I'm receiving these uploads. You know, I get up in the morning, it's just like a lot of information in my mind and my thought, and try not to overthink things. You know, the experiences that I'm experiencing now with this fourth industrial revolution and going to different podcasts and YouTube, you get to meet different personalities. You also get to experience and experiment, also experience, you know. And with those experiences and the experimentation, you know, of you know, you kind of like, you know, I like to define, explain, look for the explanation in certain narratives and thinking, you know, because I'm concerned about, you know, my family, my grandchildren. I want to make sure that their mind is in the, you know, that they're not falling for a lot of the narratives and the doctrines and dogma that our children and that we've been exposed to, that in some sense, you know, had dumbed us down, created this cognizance dissonance. So when unable to look both sides. You know what I was thinking. You know, before you cross the street, before you cross the track, you gotta look both ways. You gotta look to the right. You gotta look to the left. Right. That's how I like to be. You know, that's the way I like to. You know, and the cross, when you make the sign of the cross, you go from, you know, right, left, up and down. And then in Islam, when you what's called a tasfir or taslam, you look to your right, you say assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullah, to the left, assalamu alaikum, to the, you acknowledge the right side, the malakut on the right side and on the left side. And you know, so it's a human thing. Before you cross, look to the right side, to the left side. Before you know, engage, you gotta look. That's paradoxical reasoning, right? But I find that people do not do that. they seem to lean too much to one side and look only one side, but don't see the other side. And some people are lucky, but you can get hit, and that's the conflict. Conflict. And I'm gonna explain something. Shout out to the brother Seti who put. I have made a podcast about the conflict and the third party, right? That kind of like opened up my eyes, and I reasoned that out, and I'm like, wow, this is kind of true, right? Well, when it comes to atheism, theism, atheism, you got to look at the third party because there's a conflict right now between atheist and theist, right? The theists believe in God. Now, listen, I'm going to choose my word very, very, very carefully. They believe in God, right? In a being, in an omniscient being, omnipotent being, right? An almighty being that's able to, that controls things, right? Looking at that. So they believe in. So, whereas the atheist, according to the dictionary, according to Webster, again, these are Webster's way to define. Get very careful how people define, explain them. They say that the atheist is the opposition. They don't believe in God. They don't feel that there's a being that's over. You know what I'm saying? And to everyone's surprise, both are right. Because neither one side can prove their theory. Remember, we're talking about theistic and atheist from the word theism. Now, there's a conflict because the third party is a principle that is of the 5 P's that this civilization propagates, postulate and propagate, and that's called polytheism. In this civilization today, with the 5-pointed star, and you see it as a symbol 5 star, the 5 P's, one of those principles is polytheism. In that civilization, you can believe or disbelieve, right? Wherever you see a country with the 5-pointed star, I'll speak about the 6-pointed star, it's a different thing, but the 5-pointed star, one of the principles, one of the P's that governs that state or that empire, 5-pointed star, is polytheism. From there, poly means many theories, many theism. You get, it's arrived from theos. When you look into the New Testament, they put it in there because those are theo theories, theist and atheist. I attempted on a podcast to explain to brother that the problem is atheist. You see the word theist in there, right? And theist, stemming from atheist, are from polytheism or theory or theorem in mathematics. Those are theories. And in mathematics, you have to prove your theory to be correct in order for it to become that equation. You come up with a theorem, right? That proves your equation. But I don't want to get too deep into that. That's mathematics. You see, like I said, I'm a polymath. I have to use mathematics and those principles of mathematics and the skills of mathematics in order to put things together. And I suggest, I advise very strongly to make sure your children invest invested in learning a lot of mathematics. It's gonna put things in order. Sometimes, mathematics can be a little deceiving at times because there are people that can manipulate it to a certain way. But the the thing is, with mathematics, gives you the opportunity for you to reason things out mathematically and make and put things into order, ma'at, into order, right? So when I look at the word atheist, and also you have to go to the root of the word. And where did it come from? Who interjected this word into this language? And it's a Greek word. It's a Greek concept. It wasn't spelled atheist, or ether was not spelled with just an E, or atheist. It was spelled with A-E. Just like the word Ethiopia. Ether, utopia. Ethiopia was written A-E. Ethiopia, Ethiopia. A-E. Look it up. Look up the older manuscripts and you see the way they spell ether. A-E-T-H-E-R. Ether. A-E was always combined. So of course, when you take away one letter, you got one concept. Etherist. Ether. Those that lean more towards the ether, that black gas. And then you have gas station, a gas station, which is the white gas. That's where you get God, that sense of creation, right? The clouds. You need clouds, the moisture that it brings in order for it to rain. It catches the moisture and then it spread its moisture, its rain upon the ground with the soil and the sun, and then you have life postulating, creation, right? So when you look into these words and you look into these concepts and you put it in order, you get to see that, yes, there is a God force, for lack of a better term. That's the gestation part of creation. And then there's an ether subsistence, ether. So the ether is the primary creation. Then you have the secondary creation, which is the gestation, right? And in biblical terms, that's when you see God, before there was, and God said, let there be light. So God was in this etheric form, right? And blackness. So that's another way of looking at it. And then light appeared, which is a gestation and a refraction of the spectrum, right? Or the sun, the fusion, right? Of all the particles and elements, and fused it. Nuclear fusion happens, and then you get the sun, right? We're going to many, like I said, polymath. You can go into many different veins and trace it and put it back. So you say, well, you're not for this, you're not for that. No, I'm for it all. I'm in the all, within the all. In the center is the Quabat. It's Kupt. It's that origin. And then when you center yourself, then you get to see the split. You could look to the right, you could look to the left. Oh, somebody knocking. So that's my proposition. That's where I'm at. I'm saying is that as a mystic, you see, you're not to the left, you're not to the right, but you centerize yourself. A perfect center is something that needs to constantly be is something that constantly needs to be re regenerated. You know, it doesn't work on autopilot because sometimes you're gonna move to the right. In other words, you're on the wheel of your vehicle, right? You have to control your vehicle, and you have to move that to the right and to the left. If not, if you let it go, if it's not itself perfectly balanced, it's gonna move to the right. It's gonna move to the left eventually. You know what I'm saying? So you balance yourself. You balance your mind. So before you can again cross that track, before you can make these these evaluations at the same time, before you can make your premise, before you can say this is what you got to look to the right, to the left. You got to think paradoxically. You have to center yourself. And say, hey, okay, I'm looking to the right, I'm looking to the left. That's not straddling the fence now. You're centering yourself. Because now you're at the center of your universe. Right? Because everything around you can change, but the inner self is not going to change. It's going to continue. You are who you are. That's the perspective of natural nature, to be who you are. And not let all these other narratives. We get bombarded by doctrines and dogma, but we never connect to the source of it, the center of it, right? We get into these doctrines and dogma. I'm an atheist. I'm this. I'm believing this. I believe it. You know what I'm saying? But in order for you to solidify, to validate your stance, you have to look both ways. Safeguard yourself. Look to the right, to the left. Look up, look down. Center yourself. Center yourself. So to my atheist brothers, you can get caught up in certain doctrine. Atheism has a doctrine. There's certain men that postulated that, what you know today. So you have to go transcend that and look into the origin of that. And look at the explanation of the word itself. Get to the core of the term. And for my theists, the same thing. Theist, theories, those are theories and theists. So neither one on both sides can prove the other side wrong or right, or each other right. Because there's no such thing that exists for that. So some take the position, so the conflict, the third party, is that in this civilization, they put a stamp, the 5 principles, and one of them is polytheism. So you, in this civilization, you can believe and not believe. And you can fill your life with nothing but theories and don't have to prove those theories. That's polytheism. That's one of the principles of the 5-pointed star. The 5-point. The 6-pointed star adds an extra P, which is pharmaceutical, but we'll talk about that later. And it predates the 5-point because they hid the pharmaceutical, which was in existence since ancient time. They hid that, and they just concentrated on 5 P's, the 5-pointed stars, the Sharif, the 5 P's, right? And a lot of that also comes from the Nile Valley of certain hunter-gatherers that traveled, and these principles traveled with them, and they became in Samaria with the Code of Hammurabi, and on and on and on. You can follow the vein, That's why I acknowledge Pat Nabayananan for that, for that I was able to have conversation with him, conversations, and I was able to see how he thought. And people got confused. He'll say one thing, and the other day he'll say the opposite because he centerizes. So he's able to look to the right, feed that, look to the left, and feed that. But that's a mystic. That's on another level. You know, that's not me. But the centering is very, very important. Careful not to get so caught up in this doctrine and dogma, even with the Sabbatic, even in what, not to get caught up too much into that and lose the other, the balance. You become unbalanced. You get caught up. Master teacher switch on you, and you're wondering, wow, now he switched over, and then that's how a lot of people get lost. And they fall to the wayside. But the true ones are going to stay centerized. It says, looking to the right, looking to the left, looking up. I'm seeing the center kupt, which is from Kwabat, center. Kwabat, kut, kul. The heart is the center, right? The kulbi, kul, the center. Kwabat, kupt. So that's just one of the, I just wanted to share that with everyone, to share it, and I thought about it real quick because I'm experiencing many things, I experience things wherever I go in the life around me. And the environment and the conditions and the things that I'm, what I'm saying? I walk amongst the dead but experience life. What I'm saying? I see, both sides because you have to. You have to. Religion, I put that in the Abrahamic religion, in those, the Judaism, they put that in their system of praising when, again, the sign of the cross, side to side, up and down, sign of the cross, right? The acknowledgement of the cross. And also in Islam, it's the takbir, assalamu alaikum to the right, assalamu alaikum to the left. Let me see if I can see the comment here. Give me 1 second. Oh, coach. Salute Thunderheart. We fly with the eagles. Yes, we do. Yes, very, very important, Coach Love. All in blessings to you, Queen. Goddess. When I say goddess, I don't like to use the word queen, but I say goddess and, the tirurat. Yeah. The falcon are able to fly, balance itself, and fly over the storm. But in order to fly over the storm, it got to balance itself, and it has two eyelid folds that it can directly go towards the sun and gain all of that energy, right? Electromagnetic energy at the same time, strongly balance itself so that it flies over the storms, over the chaos, over the drama. If we fly over that, because we're in perfect balance, you have to balance yourself, the right wing, the left wing, in order to create that they call buoyancy or levitation. Another thing is, the discussion, people talk about gravitational forces. There is a levitational force also. And that's where the season comes in, right? You have the fall that goes into the winter. That's the gravitational pull. The earth changes and the gravitational pull takes over, right? And then the springing up to summer, you have what they call the levitational force. So again, when you center yourself, you get to see both forces. And you say levitational force and gravitational force, and knowing how to use that season. So, centering yourself in any industry you're in helps you to, again, That's the origin. It helps you to create. It helps you to be, in a sense, magical. Natural nature is magical, magnetic, magical, because it's the origin, the center, and they're like a cooped, able to Vihukti, bring in the sacred ash and create that sacred ash, right? The center of the earth, Shambhala, and the scented, Shambhala means scented by Allah, right? It's an Eastern concept, and that ash was those incense burning, able to extract that ash, a beautiful scent that and we're able to do that because we're able to unleash certain chemistry in our bodies, what they call ferment, and if I'm not mistaken, ferment, and that can attract. There's certain instances attract certain the other species, the opposite species attracts, and they're the women that have certain, this in her. Erica Badu has spoken about that. You know what I'm saying? And also they're able to extract that in insects and in flowers, because that's the center. That's a scent. When you have that scent around you, you know, the opposite sex, they sense that. So when you balance yourself and you're able to go into the inner self and unleash this power that we have, that's a power of true attraction. You're able to unleash this chemistry at the same time, this etheric body, this light, and that's what's the power that we have when we center ourselves. We center ourselves, and then that creates our eating habit, centering ourselves with the eating habit. I don't eat much meat, but I try not to be vegetarian. Sometimes eat meat, sometimes don't eat meat. You know what I'm saying? I center myself and understand both. You know what I'm saying? And it's people call that that's straddling the fence, but that's a cliche. I don't subscribe too much to the cliche, to be honest with you, because you know that's some people's opinions, and they use that to sort of like propagate certain a one-sided narrative, where they use cliches, right? I deal with more axioms, but yeah, that's very interesting. But yeah, it's very, very important to balance yourself so you can fly like the eagle, like the goddess said here. You know what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm gonna leave it there, and all the blessings, and like I said, you seek to center yourself, and don't be so quick to move to one side. Look about the other side, because sometimes you can help that other side look into your side, and they can help you see from your side, so you can experience again a centeredness about yourself and those experiences. You know what I'm saying? And those experiences. All the blessings, and I'll see if I can come on later on. Okay? Peace.
Passing through the gates when we are taken to a higher realm. So no one wants to hear on that toxic cell. The bell of